to mop. This is a basic video with easy mopping tips to help you clean your floors as quick and easy as possible. If that's something you want to learn, stick around. We have a whole floor mopping series for you to check out. I want to start out by saying there is no shame in not knowing how to mop a floor. If you've never done it, if you're just curious or want to see how other people mop their floors, this video is for you. I'm actually going to talk about my t-shirt. I got this on Amazon and they have a new kind of tool that lets you make a custom t-shirt to fit your body. I wanted to try that out. I took a full-length photo as directed and everything that I did with my measurements and my weight, and it still looks just like the photo. I'm not sure how custom fit it really is, but here's how it relates to cleaning. I chose a longer t-shirt because I'm really long-waisted, and when I bend down I get cleaner's butt, not plumber's butt, but the same idea. I'll put a link to that and to anything in this video so you can check it out. See, I've got nice coverage. It actually goes down this far. Hello, I'm a clean freak, and cleaning and, even more important, preventing messes is what I do. Subscribe if you haven't yet and want to learn more cleaning tips and reviews. There is not one way to mop a floor. There are many different ways, but there are some principles that are the same. First, sweep or vacuum the floor. We have a central vacuum system and I use this floor attachment, but a regular broom and dustpan works too. The idea is that you need to remove any loose dirt, pet hair, and stuff from your floor. Otherwise, you can drag it around when you mop, and if you have small rocks or dirt and you move around the mop, it can leave small scratches on your floor and places for dirt to collect. If you're vacuuming like I am, make sure to use the floor attachment because it has a soft bottom, not the regular vacuum which is made for carpets, and it might scratch your floor. So yeah, look at what lurks in there. So the difference between a regular vacuum and this is it has bristles that are stiff, but they won't scratch. And then it has these wheels. Then you need a mop. This is the one I'm going to use. We'll have a whole video about the types of mops, but for now, use what you have. I'm going to use this cedar mop because I just got it and I love the idea of hands-free wringing and being able to wash it in the washing machine when I'm done. Then you need a bucket, sink, spray bottle, or cup for your water and cleaning solution. If you have a bucket, that's ideal. You can pick one up at the Dollar Tree for $1, just a simple bucket with a handle. You can also get kinds like this one that has a wringer in it, some with wheels, and more. If you don't have a bucket, you can fill your kitchen sink with water. The disadvantage there is it's going to make your sink dirty, so you have to clean it when you're done mopping. You can also use a spray bottle and just spray it on the floor and mop it up as you go. I think that's too much bending, but you got to use what you have. Now, if you don't have a bucket or you want to keep it super simple, you can use a cup to put water onto the floor and the cleaning solution. You won't have as much control over how much, but it's better than nothing. I'm using this bucket, and if you can see inside, maybe you can't see the marks because of the glare, but there are marks here, and the top one, it says 4 liters. That's almost a gallon. It's like 4.5 liters is about a gallon. So I'm going to fill that just above that line with water, and then 1/4 cup of Mr. Clean. Next, use water and cleaner. This does fit in my sink nicely. Oh, that smells good. It's not too strong, but it looks like it's a neon. It's like the most neon yellow. I like this Mr. Clean antibacterial, and it's in the summer citrus scent, but use what you have, and you can even make your own with dishwashing soap like Dawn, vinegar, and water. Some people are going to tell you that you must use hot water or warm water, but it really doesn't matter. Reports indicate that nearly 70% of people believe that cleaning with hot water is more effective than cold water as it gets rid of all the bacteria, but cold water costs less and uses less energy. Plus, warm water or hot water won't stay that way for very long. Don't really need it. The cleaner matters more than the water temperature. I'll put a link to an article about that if you want to check that out. Next, you add cleaner. If you don't know what type of floors you have, look up what the manufacturer recommends or doesn't recommend to use on your type of floor. The floor I'm going to demo this on is a linoleum that looks like wood. Amazon sells a multi-purpose floor cleaner called Rejuvenate High Performance All Floors Floor Cleaner, and that should work for almost everything. So if you don't know what to get, I'll link to that in the description also. Like I said, you can make your own floor cleaner too. Here's the recipe. 2 cups warm water, 1/2 distilled white vinegar, 1/4 cup of isopropyl alcohol. That's rubbing alcohol. I have 70%, but it doesn't matter exactly what strength you use. 1/8 of a teaspoon dish soap, which is like probably 5 little squirts. You can skip the rubbing alcohol if you don't have any, but it does help disinfect and leaves a nice shine, and it helps it dry faster for less streaking. I always like to use the Dawn dish soap, but don't use fancy stuff with extra stuff in it like lotion. Just get the regular one. Okay, here's the instructions. So Mr. Clean kill things like salmonella, E. coli, influenza, viruses, like things that cause cold sores, all sorts of different kinds of bacteria and viruses. With both of these, you do not need to rinse after use. After you mop the floor, allow it to dry completely before walking on them. And if you're going to use a homemade solution, make sure to store it in a cool, dark spot away from kids and pets, and use it within a month. If you want to go back and get the recipe, it is in the video description, so you can go there to find the details. And also in that homemade solution, you can also add 5 to 10 drops of essential oils to make it smell nice. I like a citrus or lemon blend for the kitchen. And for the holidays, I like to use a pine tree type of scent. Since I said this was going to be easy, the easiest is just to buy floor cleaner and add it to the water following the instructions on the label. But making it yourself costs less and there's less waste. For my floors, I use a Shark brand steam mop, so I don't have any chemicals at all, just water, and it doesn't leave any scent or residue, but it does cost more than a regular mop. I've been using the Shark steam mop for about 6 years total, and I think it works pretty well, but I do have a little bit of concern. The actual heat of it might melt some of the glue that holds these planks together. I have this one that's loose and it might cause a little bit of warping. So actually I'm really careful. So we're going to use the O-Cedar mop just in case that does cause damage. I want you to be aware of that because different floors need different treatments. So start by wetting the mop, put the mop in the water and wring out any extra water. You don't want it to be too wet or it's gonna take a long time to dry and it'll be really slippery. I'd rather go over it twice than have a lot of dirty water to mop up. If you let it dry on the floor without rinsing, or if the water's dirty, it'll just dry whatever dirt the mop didn't absorb back onto the floor. This is very important. Start in the opposite end of where you want to finish. So I'm going to exit out this way, and so I want to start in this corner and do this side first and work my way out of the room. Otherwise, you're gonna have to walk across a clean floor and put the bucket behind you, so hopefully you don't have to like reach for it or walk across your wet floor to get it, because if you walk across a wet floor with shoes on, it will usually create muddy footprints on your newly mopped floor. A lot of us just kind of do this motion, but you should use long strokes and go in a line. If there is a grain like there is in this linoleum, go with the grain. That will cause less streaking. So on this floor, I'm just gonna go back and forth in longer motions. When you see that the mop or the water is getting dirty, then change the water and rinse it again. Then you'd let the floor dry before walking on it. And if you want to dry it faster, you can go over it with a cloth, like a microfiber cloth, open your windows, or ways to air it out. I've fallen down on a wet floor before just last week, and I absolutely forbid anyone from walking on the floor while it's still wet, or it ruins all the work that I just did. So maybe after the kids are in bed, or the last thing that you do at night before you go to bed, or when everyone else is out of the house. That's the best time. Okay, now you're done. You shouldn't have to rinse the floor unless it says on the instructions. With the homemade cleaner, again, you don't need to rinse. So I've gone over the basics of how to mop a floor. Any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments. In the next video, I'm going to review the O-Cedar spinning floor mop that I used today. So thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share this video if it was helpful for you, and I'll see you in that video.